In this video, we're going to talk about the differences between general and honors classes offered in middle school, and we're going to share the 3 factors to consider when picking between the two. As you may or may not know, most middle schools in the US offer 2 types of levels for the same course: regular and honors. The first one also being referred to as general courses. On paper, the only difference between the two is that the honors courses go through the material quicker and more in depth, so oftentimes they come along with a higher workload. But, as we're about to learn, there are other factors that you need to consider when picking between the two. So, without further ado, let's go through the 3 factors you need to consider when deciding between honors and general level courses. Number 1. Colleges do not look at an applicant's middle school grades. That's right. As we mentioned in the parents section, a student could theoretically get below average grades all throughout middle school and still get accepted to a university like Stanford or Harvard. So, what should you do with this information? Prioritize learning, then the grade. Your high school classes are going to build on what you learn in middle school. Think about it like this. If you never bothered to learn a concept in pre-algebra when you're in middle school, just imagine how hard it's going to be to build on that when you're taking Algebra 2 in 10th grade. Yeah, you may not do so well later on. If you want to build a skyscraper, you need an iron solid foundation. So, what should you do? We encourage our students to take honors classes and try their best in them because oftentimes this will begin to prepare a student for the workload and rigor of the classes that they're going to be taking from 9th to 12th grade. When I say prioritize the learning, I don't just mean the class content. I mean learning how to study for a test in advance, learning how to distribute your workloads across the week, and learning how to become the most organized student you can be. What we see with most of our middle school students is that once they prioritize learning, not only the content of the class, but also the proper study habits, the A+ just follows. Factor number 2, look for reviews. Something you will come to find the longer you stay at school is that the same class, but being taught by 2 different teachers, could be a completely different experience. That is why you need to go ahead and investigate who the different teachers are and what their current and previous students are saying about the course. And if you don't know any student who has taken a class with a specific teacher, the best next bet is to ask the teachers themselves. Alright, let's say your school is still in person. This is as simple as visiting their classroom during lunch and politely asking them for a description of the class you're thinking about taking. If the same teacher is in charge of both of the honors and the regular version of the class, ask him or her about the main differences between the two. Or, if your school is all virtual, you can ask for the help of a parent or guardian to go online and search the name of your middle school, then look for the teacher roster. Oftentimes, this website will have the teacher's contact information, and you can schedule a virtual meeting or send an email asking for the details about the class you're thinking about taking. The bottom line here is that you gather as much information as possible and answer the following 3 questions. Do I like the subject enough to take it at the honors level? Will I have the time to do the workload that corresponds to each class? And number 3, does my school have any particular policies regarding class placement, such as an entry test or a recommendation from a previous teacher? Finally, the 3rd thing you need to keep in mind is that once you are in an honors or regular level course, you can always try to switch out of it if you feel as though this is not a good fit. Now, although most middle schools claim to have a no-switch policy, in which once you enroll in a class, you cannot be switched in or out of it, there are many cases where all it takes is a phone call from a parent or a meeting with a guidance counselor to change the classes. This is something you should consider doing if you feel as though your regular class is too easy or your honors class is too hard. Middle school is meant to be a fun time to develop the habits you will carry on to high school. You don't want to slack off and not try because this might make your transition into high school a bit more difficult. But also, you don't want to burn out and get tired of school without even having started your high school career. Here's the bottom line of this whole video. We urge our students to take honors level classes as their baseline and only pick regular classes if they feel as though they are not particularly good at a particular topic. This is the most risk-effective way to ensure you're both getting the preparation you need before you start your high school career, while also preventing any sort of burnout before starting taking the classes in high school that matter the most. So, there you have it. These are the 3 factors you need to consider when debating whether or not you should take general or honors level classes. Remember to prioritize learning, ask students or teachers about a class you're thinking about taking, and try to switch into a different level if you feel as though you'd fit better in a different class. Remember to take as many honors classes as you can manage, but don't feel pressured to have the hardest schedule in the world. Learn what works best for you and use these classes as practice for high school. In the next video, we're going to talk about the classes you can take in middle school to start earning your high school credits as early as 7th grade. I'll be waiting for you there, but in the meantime, do not forget to ask any questions below or in the Facebook private group. See you there. We'll be putting together a bonus section for this video, which is one of over 150 lessons inside our course, Best College Aid. There we teach college-bound students and parents how to plan and afford a college education. So, whether you are in middle school, senior year of high school, or you are the parent of a college-bound student, this course will teach you and your family everything necessary to know about how to maximize both the odds of acceptance and financial aid packages. We also have a completely free 1-hour college prep training where we give you our top 10 tips on how to go to college. So I will drop a link down below. So that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, let us know.